Welcome to Night Story HQ, where reality twists and shadows whisper. Tonight, prepare to question what's real and what isn't. The wrong reflection. Elias Dunn woke to birdsong, but something about it felt wrong. It wasn't the chaotic flutter of nature he was used to. This melody was too perfect, too intentional. He sat up slowly. Everything in the bedroom looked familiar: the grey walls, the old oak dresser, even the way the morning light hit the floorboards. But the photo on his nightstand didn't belong. It showed him and Claire, his wife, smiling in front of their house, only she was wearing a red coat he didn't recognize. And the way she smiled, too white, too frozen, sent a chill through him. He didn't remember taking this photo. Trying to shake off the unease, Elias went downstairs. Claire stood in the kitchen, making breakfast. But even her movements were off, too graceful, too rehearsed. "Good morning," he muttered. "Good morning, darling," she replied, without turning. "You slept deeply." There was something in her tone, like a recording. Elias sat, watching her carefully. "What did we do last night?" he asked. "We watched The Disappearance, your favorite." "I've never heard of that movie." She turned then, smiling with the same stiff expression as the photo. "Of course you have. You loved it." The air in the room thickened. He stood up. "I'm going for a walk." Outside, everything looked perfect, too perfect. The grass was the same length on every lawn. The trees stood like soldiers. The neighbors smiled as they passed, but none of them blinked. Their laughter was hollow, looping like a broken sound file. A bus rolled by. On its side was an ad: "Freedom through structure. Trust the framework." Heart racing, Elias pulled out his phone and searched World War. The dates were wrong. The names were wrong. It wasn't the world he remembered. His calendar read July 12th, 2025, but underneath was a chilling note: "You are currently aligned. Stay consistent." He rushed home, slamming the door behind him. Claire was still there, cleaning a counter that was already spotless. "What's my middle name?" he asked. She froze, then smiled again. "Daniel." "Elias Daniel Dunn?" "No, it's Michael." She didn't miss a beat. "That must be a memory error. I'll schedule your realignment." His blood turned cold. He ran to his study. His journals were filled with entries in his handwriting, but they weren't his. They were too formal, too neat. And every page ended with "alignment approved, EDD." His laptop suddenly blinked with a warning: "Unauthorized search detected." Proceeding with corrective action, and then the mirror. There had never been a mirror on the wall before. He walked up to it. His reflection stared back, same face, same eyes. But it wasn't him. It didn't breathe. It didn't blink. Then it moved, and Elias didn't. The reflection leaned in and whispered, "You're not supposed to be awake." A knock at the door. Claire's voice floated up, sweet and hollow. "Darling, the realignment team is here." Elias bolted out the back, running down the street. No one noticed, no one followed, no birds chirped, just that endless, unnatural silence. At the edge of town stood a tall silver fence. Beyond it, fog, thick, endless fog. He climbed. The metal burned his hands, but he didn't stop, and then he dropped. He landed in the mist. Time lost meaning. He walked until a new version of the town emerged. This one was wrong in a different way. Cracked sidewalks, graffiti, imperfect, but alive. He found his house again. Inside, Claire sat on the couch, crying. She looked up with tear-streaked cheeks. "Elias?" she whispered. "Where have you been? You vanished a week ago." He ran to her, holding her like he'd never let go. Her skin was warm, real. Her sobs shook her body. "I don't know what's real anymore," he said. "You're home," she whispered. "That's all that matters." But then he saw it. Still there in the corner of the room, the mirror. Only this time no reflection, just static. And across the surface, a message appeared in dull red text. "Realignment failed. Subject: unstable." Thank you for listening to tonight's story. If you enjoy eerie tales where the line between real and unreal blurs, subscribe to Night Story HQ. And remember, Sometimes the world that feels off might just be the real one. Sleep lightly.